Good morning, Daywalkers. I am Rihanna Made Her. I am known as the Queen of Horror, and this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, which is first web show that is horror based. From my understanding, there is no other horror web show on this platform. If there is, please let me know. I'd love to check it out. Right, Go Klepto? Such a shitty joke. This is a horror web show, and today we're going to talk about the horror genre and their subgenres and some of the definitions and meanings in the horror movie. Soft, welcome to the crypt. Thank you for the follow. Oh, I had to move this imagery down a wee bit. There we go. Vital, how are you? Dilly is fast like lightning. Text doesn't show emotion, so exactly, Dylan, exactly, right? Anyways, we will be discussing the genre of horror, what it means, the definition of horror, because not everybody knows the definition of horror and how horror actually began. So I'm going to give you an education in horror today. So make sure you slap on that 666 SPF, grab a bloody bucket of brains, and enjoy the show. The best joke of all, right? Exactly. Your day has been chill? Awesome. Awesome. I don't really have any imagery for you today, but I do have trailers that we're going to watch. Some of the trailers we are unable to watch, and I will be able to put them into the Discord. They've got some R-rated shit in there. This is from a horror movie, a horror anthology, actually. Hauntings, thank you for those 100 biddies, darling. Thank you. Hi, Cataly, how are you? I had a good weekend. I had a great weekend. Thank you for asking. I hope you had a good weekend as well. So, just a little history on movies and how it became. In 1885, William Freeze Green created the very first movie device. And it was over in the United Kingdom. 1885. Why didn't Zombie cross the road? Because he didn't have the guts. Oh. I actually got a effing whisper this time. Weird. Face Devil. Thank you for that host, hon. So in 1885, William Freeze Green created the very first movie device. And when he created that device, he showed a bobby, and that's what they call their police over there in the United Kingdom. And when he showed this moving picture, obviously this moving picture did not have sound, and moving pictures were not known. And then when he shown his friend, who was a police officer, totally freaked out and ran out and was screaming because it was like some type of sorcery. To actually see a moving picture in motion, make it look like it was a ship that was actually on the open sea. So it was pretty cool to see where movies have formed and where they started. And yes, it was the United Kingdom, not the United States. Y'all better take notes. Exactly. There's some good information up in this, and we're going to have Terror Trivia. Terror Trivia is a thing and will be a thing. The definition of horror means it is a genre of speculative fiction which is intended to frighten, scare, disgust, or startle its readers or viewers by inducing feelings of horror and terror. Horror is frequently supernatural, though it might also be non-supernatural. And inside this horror genre, we have numerous subgenres. We have the main six famous genres in horror. And with no glasses, I think. Yeah, mobile chat is weird. I watched a few streams on mobile on Twitch. It's definitely strange. Do you guys know how horror became horror with the letter H? Anybody know? Listen well, everyone. There's a test at the end. And actually, there's Terra Trivia at the end. Terra Trivia, we also give out bad spelling, right? Nope. In Terra Trivia, we actually give out rewards for the first person to type the right answer in chat, and we give out Streamloots chests. So, yeah. So, okay. So, how horror became the word horror and how it began as the letter H is the British Board of Censors established the H certificate in 1937, which gives films given the H cannot be seen by people under the age of 16. Now, H was not only given to horror films, but any film in the industry at that time that brew that disgust, fright, that startle feeling. So even some Westerners that had like bank robberies and stuff like that was giving the letter H. The letter H was retired in 1951. The certificate letter H was retired, and the term horror film remained. Hi, Bam. How are you? Dropping in for a little bit while I have some lunch? Ooh, what are you having for lunch? Thank you for those 300 biddies, my friend. Thank you so very much. Hi, Mikey. Yeah, horror, not horrors, people. How are you doing? Have you on my telly while I'm working on my desk? GG's, GG's. Yep. So, when horror was created, it was in 1937 where they came up with the certificate of the letter H for the genre horror. And horror, that letter certificate was given to numerous types of films that made anybody startled or shocked, like, oh my God, like terror. It was given to Westerns. It was given to any movie that had any type of violence in it, actually. And then in 1951, they retired it and just kept the term horror film. And so that was given to different genres. You're doing great. Oh, that's good. That's good. Leftover rice and beans. Oh, I fucking love rice and beans. Are they just regular beans or refried beans, black beans? I love beans. Me and Dillinger, we had a conversation about that the other day, actually. But yes, that is the letter H for you. And there's a really good documentary called 100 Years of Horror done by Christopher Lee, if anyone is interested in that film. It was actually a TV show back in the day, and that TV show was then chopped up and put together for a full-on documentary. It is called 100 Years of Horror with Christopher Lee. Dominican, Puerto Rican food. I love fucking refried beans. They're so delicious. 2 bottles. Around noon. Yes, from Lord of the Rings. Yes, Christopher Lee is well known in the horror industry because Masters of Horror and the horror genre that created Christopher Lee. He's part of the founding fathers of horror. I've never had, well, I assume refried beans is a Puerto Rican food, but I have no idea. I've had like tacos and burritos and stuff like that, but not true on Puerto Rican or Mexican food. It's not popular here. Mind you, we don't really have Mexicans in Canada. I think it's too cold. You're hungry? Yeah, I'm getting hungry. Ake sent me some food. Now, I know you guys have heard about the first horror movie. Technically isn't the first horror movie. I highly suggested Bicycle of Death. I highly suggest it. If you are a horror fan like myself and enjoy good documentaries, I can give you a list of documentaries that you can watch that are really good on horror. Thank you for that posture check, Sneaky Tiger. The 100 Years of Horror is a really good documentary. It's a couple hours. It used to be a TV show back in the day. That's how I seen it. It was a TV show back in the day, and they actually chopped it all up into one and made it one giant documentary. The opening scene is really, really cool. Really cool. It does get a little, Hammer horror, but that is not the first horror. One of the earliest adopters of the horror genre would be a French filmmaker by the name of Georges Méliès. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Georges Méliès, which was his short film called The House of the Devil, which was made in 1896. However, However, we would also note a very well-known that Japanese were not too far behind, releasing two of the most earliest horror films ever documented. Right? He also sings I Love the Group Rhapsody and did some collaborations with them. Very cool. Very cool. 100 Years of Horror is also on Tubi TV if you're in Canada. I don't know if it's on Tubi TV in the United States because Tubi Canada and the UK and wherever else you live in the world are all different. But it is on there if you want to check it out before your DVD or Blu-ray comes in the mail. There's also another really cool show. It's not a documentary, but it's made by the Masters of Horror. And when I say Masters of Horror, I mean people like John Carpenter, Tobe Hooper. Now it's called Masters of Horror. And it is about 1 hour, 1.5 hours of movies wrapped up in one. That is considered a horror anthology, which is a term that we're going to get into as we keep going down this rabbit hole. Apparently, he's a big reason why we have SFX in movies. He is one of the founding fathers. Yeah. There's a lot of information on, if you go in Google Georges Méliès, and let me get his name here. Now, it's a French name, and I can guarantee you I am not saying it correctly. But we all know me and how I like to butcher shit. So this is his name. Georges. That is what his name is that I found in the research. Now, not only is the French known for the horror, but the Japanese were not too far behind, releasing two of the earliest horror films ever documented in Shinin no Sosei, which means in Japanese, the resurrection of a corpse. That is the first movie. And the next one is Bake Jizo, which is Jizo the Spook, which was done in 1898. These were the very first three real adaptations of horror, adopters of horror, I should say. So the French and Japanese, a lot of people think it's the United Kingdom that had their claws in the horror genre first, and it was not. It was the French and Japanese. These films you can find, they are out there. They are out there. So 1896 and 1898. Now we know horror, international horror is a really big thing. Horror didn't hit the United States for a very long time. It hit the United Kingdom well before, obviously, before the 13 colonies. International films are the roots to the modern day horror that we find, and it lends itself to indie and DIY filmmaking, but it also includes some of the most diverse and creative subgenres in history. And we do have some of the most diverse and creative subgenres. Like there's more than just one subgenre. And there's subgenres upon subgenres. And we're going to go through the main 6 and then the rest of those little genres as well. There are 6 main genres. And we're going to go over them. And I'm going to go over a couple movies that you can check out if you're new to horror. Some of these will not be for newbies. Good morning, Jess. How are you? How are you doing? You have your coffee? And now we're going to go and change this image to the graph that I have here. I just got to find it. Where are you? All right, here's our graph. I did not create this graph. I don't have time. Luminix, darling, how are you doing? Luminix, thank you so much for your sub. Mwah, much appreciated. Thank you for sacrificing your soul to the horde on the purple side. Hi, Dark Psycho. How are you? I did not create this graph. I will not take credit for this graph. It's not mine. It is something that I did get permission to use. I will post this stuff in my Discord. Dig in those images you've been posting on Twitter for your stream. I know, right? So awesome, Tenaciously. They are awesome. Now, as you can see here, there is only on this one 5, but this graph is missing one genre, and that is the comedy horror genre. That is there are 6 main genres in horror. We've got gore, disturbing, psychological, killer, monster, paranormal, and comedy. Inside each of those genres are subgenres, and inside those subgenres are another genre inside of those. And we're going to go over each one in depth for you today. So you should get a really good knowledge of what horror is and what it's about, so you can go and talk to your friends and be like, yeah, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to horror. Lucky me, how are you? Found footage is a smaller genre inside of a subgenre, Lucky. So we're going to start off with the first 6, and then I'm going to go into their subgenres. There are other subgenres known as folk horror, found footage, post-apocalyptic, horror romance, erotic horror, so forth and so on, since there's so much to talk about in that. Gore and disturbing is my least favorite. I'm so bad. See, bam, I'm a gore whore. I love it. The more gore, the better. But that's just me. Not everybody likes that kind of shit. Funny thing is, depending on the era, there could be some subgenres that are missing. Good example, nope, I have that genre. I have collected all of the genres that are in my head, and all the genres that I know from all the documentaries and just by watching horror my entire life. So I think I got everything. Oh my God, Saw, really? Yeah, but back in the day when Saw came out, that was almost revolutionary, right? When Saw came out, like, if you ask younger people today about the movie Saw, they're gonna be like, it wasn't exciting. But back then when Saw came out, we really didn't have that type of horror torture that came out. Giallo is another really good one, and we're gonna talk about Giallo as well. Our very first, it was mind blowing. And if you talk to youngsters, like people in their early 20s and shit like that, they're like, yeah, Saw wasn't that crazy. But back in the day when that bitch came out, that was like, oh damn, that wasn't mainstream. That wasn't mainstream in that horror, right? The ending is phenomenal because it's a great swerve. I'm so excited for Spiral. Spiral is set in the same universe as Saw. Saw was realistic, yeah, but we also didn't have anything at that time when Saw was created. It's just like the found footage. There wasn't tons of found footage either. The more real, the better for me. Real fear comes from things that could happen in IRL. Yeah, right? Those can be some crazy shit. I remember seeing Saw in theaters and people walking out because they couldn't handle it. Exactly, Bicycle of Death. That was something people were not used to seeing on the big screen. There were numerous movies that were not used to it, but now it's just the norm, right? We've got Hostel. We have so many other torture horror films now. Cosmic horror, that's considered sci-fi, Shark. Yeah. Mr. Chico. Oh, I also have a video for Mischief Maker since she did one on Friday, but we didn't get to show. So we're going to take a quick second here, and since Ake did give a treat to my pet, we're going to turn on Mr. Chico's webcam, and we're going to go give him a treat. Yeah, bud. Calm yourself. Over here, come here. Hostel, yeah, you remember the eye scene? You remember the eye scene? I can never forget about that one. Yeah, it was really revolutionary. Those kind of, it's real life stuff, right? So Mr. Chico, he's gonna get one of these. Mr. Chico, you need to thank Ake OG. Say thank you to Ake because he's the one who's giving you begging strips. He loves these fucking things. You showed up just in time for Chico to steal the show. Do you see how excited he is? Hold on. Hi, Dahi. How are you? All right, honey. Now you got to sit. You got to show everyone you're a good boy. Show everyone. Sit. You got to sit. No, you've got to sit here. Mom's got to show your webcam. Right? Lay down. No, lay down. No. He's way too excited. Way too excited. Mischief Maker, thank you for the host. Sit. Sit. Paw. 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 Give me your paw. You'll get this. Give me your paw. Good boy. As he runs out the door with it because he thinks I'm going to take it from him. He's like, my fucking ass is out. Mischief Maker, I have a video for you. Because on Friday you gave Mr. Chico a treat, but Mr. Chico was not here. So I made a video of him later on with his treat. So I do have a video. I'll post it in Discord. Oh, I love Hostel. I love Hostel. Mischief Maker, how are you doing and how is your vacation starting off? The early 2000s really pushed a lot of morals to the limits and saw Jigsaw didn't kill anybody. Well, exactly. If you like those moral dilemma movies, I'd recommend Feast. Yep, as well as It's Hard to Watch. Yeah, there's Maverick. Thank you for that host. I appreciate it. Yeah, he loves his treats. But who doesn't? The first genre we're going to talk about is gore and disturbing. That is one of my favorite genres. I love being disturbed. Sorry, I can talk horror movies for days. You're in the right place, Just. Because we can talk about that shit for days as well. Yeah, Metro. Everybody loves treats, right? Everybody loves treats. How you doing, Maverick? So, gore and disturbing. What does that mean? It's got lots of subgenres underneath it. So in the gore and disturbing genre, we also have torture, splatter, cannibal, and extreme. The Bacon Bandit, love that clip, Dill. Hi, Tangled, how are you? No problem, I got caught up in what I was going Friday. Oh, really? I love brownies. I love brownies. I love banana bread, pumpkin bread. Gremlins? What do you, Gremlins? Oh, you cannot have more. No, no Freddy Krueger claws. Mr. Chico needs banana bread. Mr. Chico needs a paw clipping. His nails are long. I found an abandoned barn yesterday, and inside was a bunch of toys from like the 70s and 90s. Bad fucking vibes in that place. Yeah, don't be taking stuff from an abandoned barn. We've learned our lessons. You've seen horror movies. Don't be taking things from abandoned barns. Dahi, thank you for those biddies, darling. Thank you, thank you. Now, some torture, some splatter, cannibal films, Cannibal Holocaust. That is a amazing shockumentary that was done in the late 70s. The director of that film was arrested in Italy for murder because they honestly thought that his actors were killed. And he went to court and the whole kit and caboodle, and the actors showed up and said, hey, no, we're alive. We're okay. We're good. But that is how realistic Cannibal Holocaust was. There's also Ferox, right? I haven't seen that one yet. I found it on a website, so I'm going to go and buy it. I'm not surviving because I want to touch everything, right? Okay, Miss Machiavelli, I hope you sleep like the dead. I love your face and you have a great day. Oh, yeah, you don't want to touch anything from that friggin' place. Now, your slashers don't really come into the gore and disturbing section. You might be questioning yourself why. Because they're a killer genre. Slashers technically could be gore and disturbing, but really when we talk about gore and disturbing, torture films, Hostel, Saw, Splatter, another big one, Gore, Executioner, welcome to the crypt. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate it. And Cannibal and Extreme. There is a lot of people will say, oh, well, then the Siberian film. No, the Siberian film doesn't go under gore and disturbing as much as it would go under the erotic horror genre, which is really what that is. It's disturbing to say the least, but not as disturbing as what some of these other horror movies or shockumentaries would be, like Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah, have a great sleep. Have a great sleep. And then we have our psychological horrors. Psychological horrors, which have their subgenre, which are phobias, right? Arachnophobia, blah, no thank you. Madness and Paranoia, like In the Mouth of Madness, another really good film. Psychological, you also have home invasions and survivals. Home invasions are really making a comeback. I don't know if you guys have noticed any of the home invasions on Netflix, or some of the out of North American films that are starting up with all of these horror invasions, like Strangers, right? Ache. Ache. My breakfast is here. The Scream series, that is, yeah, that would be considered killers in the subgenre of killer. Now, some of these can overlap with each other, right? They really can. Slashers could be considered gore and disturbing, but they would land under the genre killers. And if you have Shudder, you can actually look through each of the categories and genres under their specific names, like psychological, right? It's a breakfast burger. Yes, there ain't no wrong time to have a burger. That's for sure. Uh, Now, for phobia films, these can deal with anything, really. Agoraphobia, arachnophobia, which is a fear of spiders. That film, Arachnophobia, is considered a horror comedy, but it would also be under this actual phobia genre. Hi, Big Wild. My weekend is going amazing. How is yours? Us and Get Out are a different kind. Yeah, yeah, they definitely are a different type of home invasion. Get Out was okay. If it wasn't so political, I think it would have been better. Oh, Tenaciously, the General Spider. What? That was disgusting in itself. Now we've got a lot of psychological genre, a lot of psychological movies out there that are really cool. There is one that's on Netflix. It's called Pet, Pet. I highly suggest watching it. I'm recommending that one for sure. And yes, I am in no way associated with Shudder. Right there where Dylan just says this is an unpaid endorsement. I love Shudder. It's a great streaming service for horror movies and cultivated horror movies. Not just a bunch of bullshit put together. They actually handpick, and they've got a lot of Jallo on there as well. And if you don't know what Jallo is, we're gonna get into that. How are you doing, Star Knight? How are you? You're having a great 4th of July weekend? That is great. That is great. I remember you're in the US. I remember that. Now, our next one, actually, before we go into killer genre, the psychological genre, home invasion movies, The Strangers, I Spit on Your Grave can be considered that as well, and Last House on the Left. Now, there is an original to The Last House on the Left. If you've never seen it, I highly suggest to start off with the originals, then watch the remakes. There is an original of I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left. Are they still doing that quarantine special? I don't know. I don't know. Becky, yeah, I need to see that, Lucky Meat. I need to see that. We lived on a produce farm when I was growing up. I watched Hitchcock's The Birds during that time. For a while, I was nervous going outside because of the crows. Right? Guitar Gaming, how are you? Hi, Latina. How are you doing today? Good morning, Miss Blue Suede Haze. Happy 4th of July weekend to you as well. How are you doing? Yeah, I couldn't imagine. The Birds is a great, great, great film. That is also considered a creature, monster. It could be done under monster movies. A lot of trigger warnings for I Spit on Your Grave. Yeah, well, there's a lot of a lot of triggers in I Spit on Your Grave and Last House on the Left. Yeah. When those films first came out back in the day, oof, they had some big ass controversy. I wonder where Maximum Overdrive would fall on this graph. Maximum Overdrive would be technology, which would also be considered a sci-fi area. Maximum Overdrive is a great fucking movie. If you've never seen it, I highly suggest watching it. No. Stop your whining or you're going to go to bed. Welcome, Ono Gaming. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the follow. Perwade, how are you doing, darling? Are you having a good Sunday? No. He's now whining. Hills Have Eyes. Yeah, Green Inferno, Last House on the Left. They all should come with trigger warnings. Well, actually, Cannibal Holocaust does. Where I think Green Inferno should actually have one as well. But Green Inferno wasn't, I thought it was bleh, it was all right. It had some really good scenes in it when it came to the tribe and the actual cannibal part. The rest of it was lame. Super lame. But I love those shockumentaries. Those are awesome. So now, as we get into our killer genre, this is where we get into our subgenres when we do slashers, crime, giallo, bumpkin, and redneck horror. And you're probably like, what the fuck is redneck horror? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Cannibal, yes, but not cannibal to the point of Cannibal Holocaust to be put under gore and extreme. Glad I'm not the only one that wasn't too hyped on Green Inferno. I'm with you, Dill. I'm with you on that one. I have seen all 5 Transformer movies. I'm not really huge into Transformers, so no. Wrong Turn's a good film. Yeah, Wrong Turn could be considered hillbilly-ish. Same thing with Hills Have Eyes, because they are hillbilly-ish. And Hills Have Eyes is based on a true story from way back in the yesteryears in Scotland. You're good. Get Out was good, but the movie Us, yeah. See, Get Out and Us was. I haven't even seen Us because I like Jordan Peele. I just don't like all of his political bullshit in his films, so I try to stay away. I try to stay away. I'm very worried about Candyman. Very worried. A Relaxed Sunday. Oh, that's good. That's good. You can actually get Us and Get Out on Crave TV if you're in Canada. Eli talks so much shit about how this was going to be his Cannibal Holocaust. Even took the name. Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust's original name was Green Inferno. That was the original working title for Cannibal Holocaust. They threw that out because they didn't think that people would understand the Green Inferno. So they removed that and brought in Cannibal Holocaust. It was more appealing, that name. You definitely need to DMA. Dead Mom. You definitely need to. They're great movies. They're great films. Well, maybe not scary, but yes, intense. Oh, yeah, no. Cannibal movies aren't really scary. Cannibal movies are meant to make you disturbed. Like, oh my God, I just can't believe he just ate that thigh. That kind of thing. Like, if you've watched Cannibal Holocaust, you'll understand what I mean by making you disturbed. That film has numerous disturbing views in it, and the beginning of the film literally has a warning message. So, and that movie was also banned in like 50 different countries. I saw fireworks in America last night. Oh, nice. Very cool. Tenaciously Boo, all good. I know the fall Halloween movie sales are coming. Yeah, they are. They definitely are coming. Very soon, and Microsoft will have one of their biggest horror sales as well. The first thing I hear is Cannibal Holocaust. I can tell this will be fun. It will, mine. We are discussing horror, and I'm giving you guys an education in the horror genre. Me too, Dead Mom. The movie we watched with those people on the island with the cameras was very disturbing. Ache, that was Cannibal Holocaust, darling. We introduced you to Cannibal Holocaust. An official display. We went to a park. Oh, nice, Blue. Cannibal movies make you uncomfortable. Seeing cannibals do terrible things is bad enough, but you can also picture yourself in a position of being scared, helpless, and being eaten. There are numerous cannibal movies out there. Numerous, tons. If you think the slashers have a huge genre, cannibals do as well. No, I have not. No, I have not, Just. I should, though. Cannibal Holocaust is a great movie. If you are offended easily, do not watch it. Do not watch it. If you are triggered by any type of animal cruelty, do not watch it. PETA was not around at this time, and the deaths of the animals that you did see in Cannibal Holocaust were real. And the only good thing about that being real is that they actually use that for food. It fed the film crew. So the turtle and the little thingy that they kill in the beginning of the film, that all actually fed people on the filming site. It's a great, but you do have to have a strong stomach and thicker skin for sure. Good morning, Reaper. How are you? Um, Godzilla? Yeah, Godzilla is good. I like Godzilla. So that is our that genre and cannibalism. But our killers, we've got slashers, crime, and giallo, bumpkin and redneck, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hills Have Eyes, giallo, Tenebrae, anything Argento. Really good. Slasher, Halloween, Friday the 13th. You can kind of consider Nightmare on Elm Street to be slasher, but technically it's not slasher. It's more of a demonic thing since Freddy Krueger is a sleep demon. So I don't really put Nightmare on Elm Street or Texas Chainsaw Massacre under the slasher genre. Cannibal Holocaust is on Shudder. You might be able to find it on Prime. There's lots of good cannibal films haunting. Yeah, Get Out wasn't political at all. Oh, there was political stuff in it, Latina. Um, it was an okay film, but there was political shit in that one. Argento, yeah, he's great filmmaker, great filmmaker. Then we have the monster genre. Elm Street was your first horror movie. Very cool. My very first one was Friday the 13th. Now we have monsters. The subgenre in the monster ones would be your zombies and undead, virus, vampires, werewolf, classic monsters, mythological, giant monsters, sci-fi, and aliens. But sci-fi also has their own small subgenre in horror. And this is where you'll find things like Quarantine, Night of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, which Return of the Living Dead just celebrated a birthday of release here the other day. And Godzilla, that could be considered sci-fi as well, sci-fi horror, creature films. We also have like Piranha, Meg, what are some of the other, Jaws, Ghost of Mars, great fucking movie. Shudder, Shudder. You don't have Shudder, check Prime. If not, check YouTube. You might be able to find that on YouTube. Fulci is really good as well, haunting. And how are you doing, brightest day? How is your day going? Ghost of Mars is a really great film, and that is considered a sci-fi horror. Aliens, sci-fi horror. I know a lot of people are like, no, it's sci-fi. No, it's not. It's a sci-fi horror. Event Horizon, Prometheus, these are all horror sci-fis. You can have people fight about this genre all day fucking long. It is sci-fi horror. It is classified as sci-fi horror. That is exactly what it is. Monster movies, vampires, werewolves, Van Helsing, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now that could also be considered a romance horror as well. Screamers, 1995 was a decent sci-fi horror. Scanners, right? We've got Scanners. There's Videodrome. I love Ghost of Mars and Ghost Ship. They are great movies. Ghost Ship is definitely underrated, brightest day, and so is Ghost of Mars. A lot of people haven't seen Ghost of Mars. I highly, highly recommend Ghost of Mars. YouTube, check it out. Yeah, you might find it over there, Proade. Ms. Gothic. How are you, sweetness? By the way, thank you for that gifted sub to Metro. I appreciate it. Event Horizon. Fuck yeah, great film. Spore. Thank you for that host. And our mythologicals as well. And we also have paranormal genre. Now that paranormal genre has a lot of subgenres: ghost and spirits, haunted houses, which are different than ghost and spirits, possessions, which are different than ghost and spirits, devils, demons, hell, witchcraft, occult, and supernatural powers. Now you can have things in this paranormal one as 13 Ghosts, House on Haunted Hill. You can also do the Ouija board ones, supernatural television shows like Charmed and Supernatural. I'm just tired. Just got back from a ring. Glad to make it here in time. Awesome. I'm glad you had a great day. Get that relaxation on. Oh, we got a good meal, a good poll going on about your meal. Did I say fucking meal? Because I smell food in front of my face. What is your favorite main genre from that listing? Get your votes in. Now, when you say ring, do you mean like a boxing ring? And Latina, how is your Dead by Daylight gaming going? Ouija board movies are a lot of fun. If they're done right, they can be really good. There are numerous paranormal. We've got the Conjuring universe. We have the Annabelle universe, Insidious, all of those kinds of things. The Changeling is a good film. Good film. Definitely, that is on Shudder in Canada. Omen, definitely a really good one about the devil. The Exorcist. There are numerous amazing films under the paranormal genre. And then we have the comedy horror. Now, I put this one in here because comedy horror is becoming a very popular genre. It's not just a subgenre, but it's becoming a very popular genre. There have been numerous horror comedies coming out in the last 5 years. And so I put it in its own one of the main genres. Even though this one has five, I say there are six major genres. As the comedy horror is coming in huge, huge. Causing Trouble, how are you doing, sweetness? How is your day going? Dawn of the Dead is a comedy horror. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, Little Shop of Horrors. These are horror comedies. Scare Package. Those are all horror comedies, which are really cool. I love Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Army of Darkness, horror comedy. Ash vs. Evil Dead TV show, horror comedy. There's more comedy in that than anything more serious, right? I'm doing good, Spore. I can't complain. I've got some lunch in front of me that I'm going to eat. Idle Hands, one of my favorite horrors, one of my favorite comedy horror. Elvira, big time Elvira when she did her own movies. She has a couple of movies that she's done, and one of them is on Amazon Prime and on Shudder. Amityville, yep, is a haunting. Yep, is a haunted house horror. Goonies, welcome to the crypt. Thank you for that follow. Much appreciated. I made a big cheeseburger and homemade. Nice. Nice, big. Yeah. Haunted Hills. Yeah, House on Haunted Hill. The original is really good. The remake is decent. You've got a lot of house hauntings. We also have the supernatural hotel hauntings, The Shining, right? Idle Hands, you got me, Idle Hands. No problem. How are you finding Twitch? Goonie, I'm enjoying Twitch. I'm thinking I'm having a really good time on here. We're having our first official coffee chat of horrors on Twitch. 65% of you love the paranormal genre. Good. GG's. Insidious is a good one. I don't know, Latina, but you can probably find it on YouTube. You can rent movies on YouTube, right? So you may be able to get it there, but Ake bought me Idle Hands DVD a bit back. You love paranormal because it has to do with things that we don't fully know and understand. I agree, Bam. Paranormal, we don't quite understand it. It's hard to prove these things with science, right? Then we have our sub-genres underneath these other genres, like folk horror. Like, what the fuck is folk horror? Folk horror is like The Village, Children of the Corn, that type of stuff. That would be considered folk horror. Found footage, Blair Witch, Cloverfield, no. Post-apocalyptic and sci-fi. This would where we would do our Videodrome, Aliens, Scanners, really good ones. Please tell me you know the Monster Squad. Yeah, of course. The Monster Squad, Little Monsters. I grew up loving those friggin' films. Fucking love them. Yeah, The Witch could also be considered, yep, and Hagazusa, I can never pronounce that one right, is also considered folk horror, yeah. We actually do have our very own Monster Squad. I have a stream team called the Monster Squad. I'm bringing it to Twitch. But that's a whole other animal. Raiders of Atlantis. We also have our horror romance, Near Dark, Let the Right One In, Warm Bodies. Those are considered a horror romance. We also have body horror. What's body horror? Yeah, body horror, Society, Cabin Fever, The Fly. Population Gamer, welcome to the crypt. Thank you for the follow. I don't know how to pronounce the rest of your name, so I apologize. Nobody I ever say the Monster Squad to knows it. What? Who are you hanging out with brightest day that don't know who the Monster Squad is? Wolfmans have nards. What? How? You are in the right place though if you want to talk about the Monster Squad. We fucking love that movie. And Little Monsters. Actually, Little Monsters. We're gonna talk about Little Monsters later today. Have you ever watched Boxing Helena? No, gaming. I have not. I'm gonna have to add that to my recommended list. Do you recommend watching it? Garlic pizza to the face. I fucking love pizza. Even I know what the Monster Squad is, and I don't even watch horror movies, right? I need to see Escape from New York. Favorite part of Monster Squad is when the little girl says, "Come on, guys, don't be chicken shit," right? She's cute. Oh, I can give you a shit ton of movies to watch. I can give you my top 100. I should make a top 100 movies to watch, according to Reanimator. Little Monsters was the one with the boy from Wonder Years. Yes, Fred Savage. It's really good and disappointing at the end, but something to see. Thank you, gaming. I'm going to put that in my list. Yeah, the Monster Squad was also, was a TV show. Yep. Dr. Shock. Hello, Brown. How are you? Yeah, I love me Little Monsters as well. So we got body horror. The Fly is considered body horror. Society, if you've ever seen Society, if you have not seen Society, you can check it out on Shudder Canada. Cabin Fever, a body horror. When we say body horror, like flesh-eating diseases in Cabin Fever is a really good film. It's underrated, but it's a good film. The Fly, really good. I prefer the 1980 version of The Fly over the very original version of The Fly, but again, body horror. We also have gothic horror. Gothic horror, The Woman in Black, Dracula, Interview with the Vampire, Sleepy Hollow. These are considered gothic horrors. Now, there's many more underneath the gothic horror genre. Cronenberg can be considered under that post-apocalyptic body horror and sci-fi because of his crazy shit that he creates. Like Rabid. Who here has not seen Rabid? If you haven't seen Rabid, do not watch the Soska Sisters' Rabid beforehand. Watch Cronenberg's Rabid, Canadian-made film by David Cronenberg. Watch that first, then you watch the Soska Sisters. I'm good, strong. How are you? Body horror as in actually getting eaten by bugs or opposed to image. Yeah, those can also fall under that as well, Bam. Ooh, GG's, Ache. Can you make sure you're receiving those limbs? Rabid's a great film. Ms. Gothic, thank you for that host. So then does What We Do in the Shadows count as gothic horror comedy? Yeah. The subgenre combinations are crazy. And there's even more. Dillinger, there's even more inside of these other small genres. One of my favorite genres is the Lovecraftian and King horror genre. Yes, that is its own subgenre. Right? I love What We Do in the Shadows. One of my favorites. I love the friggin' TV show. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I fucking love it. I love what they did to extend What We Did in the Shadows. I love the fact that they have the original cast and crew from What We Did in the Shadows in the TV show for the Vampiric Council. I love that show. I meant grandmom told me she used to watch Dr. Shock when she was young. Oh, okay, Latina. Yeah, I own the first season. I fucking love What We Do in the Shadows. Do they have a horror that focused primarily on 2 feet and toes, asking for a friend? That would be considered body horror. Ache, you buy me a motherfucking fast food burger and now you want me to do fucking jumping jacks? What? What kind of torture is this? Anyways, I'm going to go eat my fries before they get cold. And And 20 squats, you son of a bitch. And 20 fucking squats. No. No, Latina, but again, where in the world was this being watched? Make the fries and do jumping jacks. This pop is falling all over myself. Damn it. Yeah, right? Yes, we got squat hype. Ugh. So anyways, back to Lovecraftian and King horror. Reanimator can be considered monster, can be considered horror comedy because it is funny. But it is Lovecraftian and King horror. Reanimator, From Beyond, The Shining can be considered King, and The Mist, The Fog, all of those can also be considered under Lovecraftian and King. Ooh, Dill. You gotta end your sentences in zombie. Now, there's also tons of other tiny subgenres. If we really want to break it down, we have tons of tiny ones like action horror, Asian horror, clown horror, creepy dolls and toys, dark fantasy, erotic horror, ESP horror. ESP horror means extrasensory perception horror. Movies like Scanners, Carrie, those types of films would be considered ESP horror. You've got mummies and golems, which can also be included in the monster genre. You've got the remake genre, weird horror, robot mechanical, right? Western horror. She said it was like old black and white Dracula werewolves. Oh, I may have seen it. Wartime horror stories. Yeah, they are. They've got Dead Snow. Could be also considered zombie. Yeah, that is an intense film. That can be, again, another zombie film, right? So those are the smaller genres inside other genres that you can actually break them down. So if you ever hear someone say, I really enjoy the ESP side of horror, you can say, well, fuck yeah, bud, I know that genre. That's Carrie, right? Anything to do with stuff like that. There's also hostage horror, which can also be considered home invasion horror as well. Jawbreaker. Have you guys heard of the movie Jawbreaker? Thriller. Thriller is its own genre, right? So you've got your thriller, you've got your action, you've got your comedy. It is its own genre. Oh yes, The Cure for Wellness. Mm-hmm. I would say Krampus could be more of mythological, right? Than demon. Because he's the soul. Well, I don't know if I want to consider him demon. That's happened to you before, right, Blue? Mm-hmm. Why did see twice? What are you talking about, haunting? No, Mr. Chico. And now, Krampus, holiday horror, right? It would fall under a holiday horror. I think it would could fall under monster category because it is a mythological, right? Now we also have. You want to do? What do you want to do a giveaway for, Ike? Do a giveaway. What would you like to do a giveaway for? Jawbreaker film is a good film. If you haven't seen it, I would say monster. Because he's not technically a demon. Mr. Chico, come over here on this side. This side. They want to see your face. There you go. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I would say he's more of monster than demon. I would have to say, you saw Jawbreaker. Latina, it's a good film. It's definitely a good film. Krampus, Krampus's backstory is the evil Santa, right? He actually we actually did a coffee chat of horrors on Krampus. Mr. Chico. I want to watch the original Candyman. Amazon Prime should have all three Candymans. Okay, I'm back from emote chat. There you go. There you go. I know, right? There's his face. So monster and demon are a little different, but they're under the same genre, right? So monster. Now, but see, it also could be paranormal. I still haven't had a chance to watch any Krampus films. Oh, so it's a Christmas film. Krampus is a Krampus takes the bad little boys and girls around Christmas time. It's very big in Germany and in those areas there. I do in Brown. If you're in Brocluse, if you're in my Discord, there is a section called Coffee Chat of Horrors where I put all of our information and research in, and there is a section on Krampus if you are interested in it. But not just German folklore though. And it's for Christmas. Krampus only comes around Christmas time. How you doing? I got worms. How's your day going? Fearful Landalus. Welcome to the crypt. Thank you for the follow. Now, we have many terms in the horror industry as well. And I'm going to show you guys some horror movie trailers that I can show you here on Twitch. Now, there's some that I'm not going to be able to show you, and that's from Trauma. And I will tell you what trauma means. So there will be trailers in my Discord because I will not be able to show you trauma trailers here. Now, again, there are a few terms in the horror movie genre that many of you are unaware of. Yeah, Mr. Chico, he wants my food. Look at him. He wants my food. Yeah, no, this is why I can't show any trauma. If you like to see boobies, lots of boobies, and sometimes dong, watch Trauma. Demon, you guys are so, I would not say Krampus is a demon. He's the spirit of Christmas, just like Santa Claus, but for bad little boys and girls. Is at least German folklore gave us that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Leprechaun, right? Leprechaun Irish. You're doing well. I am doing really well. Thank you very much. I got worms. I hope you had a great weekend. I love trauma films. Poultrygeist is one of my favorites, but that's here in a few moments. Oh.
Do you know Heavy hates this voice? Dislikes? Oh, God. He dislikes the whole chipmunk voice. Can I get an explanation point 3? Oh, wait. We don't have MIU, do we? Oh, we do. There we go. Every Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing Discord Horror Movie. That'll be on Thursday. Unfortunately, I cannot do watch parties on Twitch because I'm not in the United States. Unfortunately, only Americans get to do watch parties. Oh, The Brood. Yeah, that's a good one. There are so many. I want to make a list of my top horror movies that I think you all should see. Now, reminder, I love gore and I love B-rated films. C to B-rated films I really enjoy. Mr. Chico, he wants my fries. Okay, you're lucky. Lucky meat is giving you a french fry. I gotta take the salt off. He's like, yeah, feed me another. And hydrate. Ah! Mm-hmm. Yep. We've got the chipmunk voice. He is so greedy. He's a little trash monger. Yeah. Trash monger. Yes. movie with just one or two. It has to have more. Very food motivated. Nobody said to why. Hi, Land. How are you? Okay. Now, we have the term. I don't want to go into the term sounding like a chipmunk. So, I'm doing good. Little innocent face, my ass. This little bugger likes to go into the garbage. And, he learned how to open up my garbage can? Yeah, he's a little bastard. I get home one day and there's garbage everywhere. Now I have a garbage can where before you had to step on a pedal and it would push the garbage can up and open the lid. Well, we had to get rid of that because Chico realized that he can step on it because he's a little bastard. And he can stand up on it and then put his hands into the garbage because it opens up the lid. So we got rid of that. And now, Mr. Chico, he uses his head to lift up the lid. I caught him. And Nixie, welcome to the crypt.
Thank you for that follow, Nixie. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a great Sunday. That was Mr. Paul that gave me the mountain of toilet paper, shredded toilet paper. It's on my Instagram. If anyone ever needs to see it, on my Instagram, there is a Mount Everest of toilet paper. I'm horrible. I'm sorry. I thought I was following you. Oh, it's all good. It's a new platform. I mean, I've only been on here for a little bit now. What, a week? I think. About a week? It's all good, Nixie. I'm glad to see you here. How is everything? Oh, he is a naughty boy. So me and Heavy and the kids, we went away for a vacation. We went to British Columbia to see our family. And we left the cats home alone with a babysitter. We came home and I buy the Costco brand toilet paper. So it's really big and thick, right? It's huge. So there was a new piece of a roll of toilet paper on the roll. We come home and I go into the bathroom and I see Mount Everest of toilet paper. There's nothing left on the cardboard roll. Nothing. He literally shredded an entire Costco brand of toilet paper. It's like this fucking big. All over in a mountain. In a mountain. What? Yeah, it's on my Instagram. Gotta go deep though. Gotta go deep in the gram. Nuclear. Mwah. How are you doing, darling? Thank you for that host. Thank you. Yeah. He was like, screw this shit. I want Cottonelle, right? Right? Okay, so now we're going to get into our terms for horror. There are main terms for horror like giallo. You'll see that name come up if you watch anything on Shudder. They have a lot of giallo films on Shudder. Giallo is an Italian term designated for the mystery fiction, right? Giallo is Italian for the color yellow, and the term derives from a series of cheap paperback mystery novels with yellow covers that were popular in Italy. There are numerous giallo directors. The most famous one would be, who would you think would be the most famous giallo director? Oh, yeah, right, Nixie? Right? They're good. Argento. Yeah. Fulci can also be considered in there, but Argento, when you think of giallo, you think of Argento. Now, giallo is very artsy like as well. If you've ever watched Tenebrae, which we're gonna watch a trailer, it's the one that I can show you on Twitch. We're gonna watch that trailer to show you a little bit of Tenebrae. If you've never seen Tenebrae, I highly recommend it. There's gonna be a few movies that I'm gonna recommend to you to watch in the giallo genre. Right? Lurk away, Spore, lurk away. Argento is I like his films, and Shudder's got a lot of them. Now, we are going to go and take a look at our first trailer, which is going to be Tenebrae. No, Tenebrae is not new. No. Nith, how are you? How are you doing, my friend? Tenebrae is an older movie. It is on Shutter. Dillinger, you guys watch Shutter. Is it on the US Shutter? Nice, Latina. Nice. Mr. Chico, no one can see you. Come here. Nobody can see you underneath the desk. He's perched there, like I'm going to give him more fries. You're good? Ah, I'm glad to hear that. But here is Tenebrae. And when I say artsy, it's artsy like. You saw it in the theaters? Nice. Nice. Tenebrae is set in a world where Germany won World War II. It is on US Shutter. Awesome. If you have Shutter and you're in the US, you can watch Tenebrae. I suggest it. He is adorable, right? Let me know if you guys can hear this. He is adorable. Thank you.
The girl was killed 5 hours ago. Her mouth was stuffed with pages from a book, Tenebrae.
Tenebrae?
Tenebrae is a sexist novel. Why do you despise women so much?
Sexist? No. No, I don't think it's sexist.
Okay, so then explain the books.
I just have this hunch that something is missing. Somebody who should be dead is alive. Somebody who should be alive is already dead.
This show? Oh, you mean the show that High Castle? That was Tenebrae. When I say it's an artsy film, most Giallo films have an artsy type of feel to them. And Tenebrae, I will say, is probably one of my favorites. I do highly suggest watching it if you kind of want to get an understanding of what Giallo is. There is also Deep Red is another Giallo film, and A Bay of Blood. Hi, little antique doll. How are you? You got to remember that these films are made in like the 70s. Okay? 70s. It's artistic horror to that extent. It's artistic. You're going to see a lot of artsy type of deaths. Wasn't the original zombie movie called White Zombie? Yes, the very first one was based off of voodoo. They weren't your typical zombies. Yep. And actually, that's the one from 1932. Mm-hmm. Now, the term zombie didn't actually come out of any of Romero's films in the beginning. So in 1968, Night of the Living Dead, they were never coined as zombies. We can get into a whole big debate about that one too. Bela Lugosi, yeah, he's amazing. There's a really good documentary on Tubi TV about Bela Lugosi. If anyone is interested, I love documentaries. This is where I get a lot of my knowledge. I buy the DVDs and Blu-rays with director commentary and all of that stuff, and that's how I watch when I rewatch like Halloween. I watch the 25th anniversary DVD with the commentary from Carpenter, and this is why I learned so many things, is because I watch friggin' documentaries like they're going out of style. I've watched them forever. I also buy their books and read them, like the Leviathan. That's another good one. Bela Lugosi was an icon. Yeah. Oh yeah. Space Catnip. Welcome to the crypt. Thank you for the follow. Hi Orchid. How are you? How are you doing? Happy Sunday. So that is Giallo. So if you're wanting to see some Giallo films, you can type the word Giallo in Google, and they will pop up. You can also, what happened? In Finland, so can't watch. Oh, you're in Finland. Yes, that is Giallo. I know I'm not pronouncing it right, but that is Giallo. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm glad you're doing good. I love Vampira. Vampira. Thank you, Moonlight. Let's do that posture check. Now, Grindhouse. How many of you heard the term Grindhouse? Now, Grindhouse is another low-budget horror, is really, and Grindhouse theaters existed, and they still exist to this day. Grindhouse is an American term for theaters that mainly show low-budget horror, splatter, and exploitation films. I'm sure you guys have heard of blaxploitation, movies like Blackula. Really good, really good. You can watch a couple of them on Shudder. Actually, there is like 10 exploitation films on there. Vampira is one of my favorites, Brightest Day. Now, I used to watch her growing up on obviously reruns because I was not born in the 50s. But I used to watch her all the time, well before Elvira came out. Svengoolie. There's so many of them that I used to watch growing up as a kid. Are you going to watch the new Ghostbusters movie? I don't know, maybe. Tenaciously, thank you so much for those 300 biddies. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Grindhouse now. Some examples of Grindhouse films. Death Proof, one of my friggin' favorites. American Grindhouse. Machete, City of the Dead. Those are some of the most famous films that I can think of that you may have seen but did not realize they were Grindhouse. Not everybody likes the Grindhouse look. Grindhouse is very gritty. And we're gonna watch a trailer for Grindhouse so you guys can get an idea of what Grindhouse actually is. She definitely is a friggin' icon. I liked it. I liked the original, and I like the newest ones too. Death Proof is one of my favorites. Another Kurt Russell film. I love that man. Love that man. We are gonna go watch the. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Planet Terror, but Planet Terror is a Grindhouse film. No, I actually. We have a couple, Doc. There is also the Transformer, the Ghostbusters Transformers car. Yeah, Ecto-1. Yeah, we have that. House of a Thousand Corpses, also Grindhouse. Yes, no, it would be considered Grindhouse horror. Yeah. No, definitely would be. We're going to show you Planet Terror and a mixture of what Grindhouse is like. So you kind of get an idea and you'd be like, oh, I've seen a Grindhouse film. Death Proof is one of those. Death Proof is a Grindhouse film. Planet Terror is, again, one of my favorites. But it's a double feature, right? You've got Death Proof and Planet Terror in one. Well, on my collector's edition, I do. Only Grindhouses I know ain't no theaters, right, strippers? But actually, Grindhouse is an American term, and this is where Grindhouse was created in the United States. When we talk about horror and stuff like that, the UK usually takes the cake for that one. Because of what they came out with way back in the day with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff, all of those guys. Dusk Till Dawn, yeah. Dusk Till Dawn's a great film. We are going to go watch the trailer for Planet Terror. So give you guys an idea of what this is about.
From the directors of Reservoir Dogs, Desperado, Pulp Fiction, From Dusk Till Dawn, Once Upon a Time in Mexico, Kill Bill, and Sin City. Tarantino and Rodriguez are back. Only this time, they're back to back with a double feature that'll tear you in two. First,
I got bit.
Bit by what?
If I told you, you probably wouldn't believe me.
Robert Rodriguez, Planet Terror.
Made you something. Open that door, will you, baby?
Plus,
Fair lady, your chariot awaits.
Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof.
Do I frighten you? This is my scar. It's your car.
2 no-holds-barred feature-length motion pictures for the price of 1. Planet Terror and Death Proof. Only at the Grindhouse.
I highly suggest it. That's Grindhouse. That is what would be. Oh, I got lipstick on me. There we go. That is what would be considered Grindhouse. Machete, great film. Hi, darling Nebula. How are you? Taylor, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the crypt. Both great films. Again, there's American Grindhouse. It's a movie, American Grindhouse. I highly suggest the movie Machete and Machete Kills and City of the Dead. Those are some really good Grindhouse films. Bitch Slap or Decent Grindhouse. Yeah, I love Machete. I think it's a great movie. Right, Gamer Sass? Those are good movies. Hi, Colin. How are you? I was in high school when that came out. I remember people doing that machine gun leg move when breakdancing. Yep. It's a great film. It's one of my favorites. Death Proof is one of my favorite movies. I can watch that over and over again. But that is considered Grindhouse. Now, I know you guys have heard me talk about anthology horror. Now, you're like, what the hell's anthology horror? It is a genre of its own. Oh, yeah. I love Grindhouse in itself. Like Grindhouse, the whole concept of Grindhouse I enjoy. That's my kind of genre that I enjoy, is that B-grade, low-budget horror films. How you doing, Arctic? How is your day going? What do you like so much about Death Proof? I love the storyline. I love how it tells you like 3 different stories in one film. The car is pretty fucking fabulous. Kurt Russell, I am a huge Kurt Russell fan. I love that man, and Big Trouble Little China, The Thing. I love most of his movies. I like how the storyline goes. I like some of the gore where they're in the car and they get that. I don't want to ruin it, but the whole leg flying off thing, that was fucking awesome. There's lots of good things about Death Proof, like lots of good things. No, Kurt Russell can do no wrong, and especially in my eyes. You're just waking up. I hope you had a great sleep. You love Death Proof, darling? Nice. How was your guys' weekend? How was your weekend? Danny Trejo did quite a few Grindhouse movies. Oh yeah, he has a huge lineup of Grindhouse films, actually. He was never as big as he is now back in the day when he started doing films. The women in Death Proof, oh, fuck yeah, they were badass. The second group of women. Yeah. I love Snake Plissken. Mm-hmm. Danny Trejo plays and is partnered with Animal Jam. Yeah, he is. We mean Animal Crossing. Not my genre, though the stunt woman. Oh yeah, the stunts were awesome in that film. They did a great things with those stunts. So anthology horror. Anthology horror, also known as ambiguous film, package film of package films, usually. And I'm going to give you an example of what a package film is. It is a subgenre of films consisting of several different short films, often tied together by only a single theme, premise, or belief interlocking event, like in Scare Package. Often a turning point as well. Sometimes each one is directed by a different director. Sometimes they're directed by the same director. Scare Package, for instance. Scare Package is a newer horror anthology. It's a horror comedy. I highly, highly recommend it. Joe Bob Briggs did a premiere on his show with Scare Package. Rose McGowan, yeah, I love Rose McGowan. She's awesome. Creep Show. So Creep Show, Tales from the Crypt, Dark Shadows, Scare Package, Masters of Horror, those type of things would be considered anthologies. Tales from the Crypt not only does TV shows, but they were a movie before they ever became a TV show for HBO, right? So you have those anthologies, and I'm going to show you Scare Package. I will show you Scare Package trailer. Scare Package is a really good horror comedy anthology. It's filled with a ton of practical effects and some funny stuff. Before he got famous, Danny Trejo was doing Triple Life before he got released. Yeah. He's on the cover of, there's a jail documentary. He's on the cover of it. I can't remember the name of it. I was going through Netflix documentaries and I seen Danny Trejo, something about locked up or whatever it was. And I'm like, Danny Trejo, what? And then I opened up the documentary and I started going through it. I was like interested. I went, holy shit balls. I didn't even knew that. You're heading out. Horror isn't my thing per se, but I'm loving your channel. Bam, point blank. Thank you so very much. I know horror is not everybody's thing. And that's quite all right. We don't just do horror here all the time. But yeah, thank you for stopping by. You have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday. Tales from the Crypt Keeper was the cartoon. Yes, Tales from the Crypt Keeper is the cartoon version, which you can watch on Tubi.tv. You can watch the entire seasons. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes as a cartoon. Yeah, there's another good one. Yeah, that's it. Inmate or whatever it was. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. If you guys haven't seen that, you are missing out on some really cool stuff. Scare Package now. I'm going to get you guys a trailer to Scare Package. Joe Bob Briggs, which is an idol of, he's one of my idols. Like I got the idea for Coffee Chat of Horrors because of a few things in my life. I grew up watching Elvira, Vincent Price, Vampira, Svengoolie, all of those guys, Chili Billy. I grew up watching those, and that influenced my life in a huge way. And then later on down the road, I met a man by the name of Cranky Canuck. And oh my God, Orchid, holy shitballs, Orchid, thank you for those 1,000 biddies. Thank you so very much. And we got 25 we got rewards in chat. Yeah, he is okay, Animal Crossing Latina, Animal Crossing. Thank you very much, Orchid, for those nice little rewards that we get in here. I appreciate it. Yeah, Animal Crossing Latina. I call Animal Crossing Animal Jam all the fucking time. Oh, I love your face as well. I do. Now, the reason why we do a coffee chat is because of the man, Cranky Canuck, who passed away a couple of years ago. He was a mentor of mine. And I decided to create two things, bring two of my passions together. Coffee and chatting and horrors. And it was because of Cranky that we have Coffee Chat of Horrors. Not directly, but indirectly because of Cranky. And so I put the two together. And so we created Coffee Chat of Horrors. Then Coffee Chat of Horrors was also inspired by Monster Vision. I don't know if you guys even know what Monster Vision is, but Monster Vision, we're going to talk about that later as well this morning. Monster Vision is another thing. But I started doing Coffee Chat of Horrors before The Last Drive-In. And when The Last Drive-In aired on Shudder for the first time, I was like, holy shit, I'm in love. I'm wearing my coffee and horror movie merch right now. Yes, that's awesome, Orchid. Awesome. I'm wearing my Necromancer. Monster Vision was awesome. I vaguely remember Monster Vision. Yeah, he is partnered with Animal Crossing. He's partnered with Animal Crossing. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Dill. We're going to talk about that as well. We don't have a release date for Monster Vision, but Joe Bob Briggs has teased us with information about Monster Vision. Yeah. But we're going to watch the trailer to Scare Package. You guys need to see this film if you like horror comedies and you like anthologies. It can be confusing to watch this film, but I highly suggest paying attention to it. So it's an interlocking
Your cold
event.
opener. You only have a few minutes to put all the pieces in place.
This is the best house on the market.
It just seems too good to be true.
What would happen in a horror movie now? Everyone I care about ends up dead.
As if it wasn't bad enough that we're babysitting on Halloween.
That's what they were doing back there. Tests and shit.
The engine will not start in 17 out of 18 cases.
It's the Devil's Lake Impaler.
It's not over. He could still come back.
I'm pretty sure something bad happened here.
You don't understand! You have to kill me! Now!
You okay? Picking up hitchhikers is dangerous business. It's how horror movies start. Looks like you're having a rough night.
It's 11 a.m.
Hi, I'm hunting a creature, well, a man. Maybe you've seen him?
How are we gonna fix this?
I'd like to rent a wood chipper.
We are in a horror movie! Nobody? Horror movie.
See the final girl, huh? It's cool.
Yeah, this is bad.
What do you mean what's happening in the movie? Just watch the movie!
It is currently on Shudder. I'm eating my burger at the same time. That is Scare Package. I highly recommend it. It is a horror movie inside of a horror movie. I do, though, highly suggest to putting all of your attention in watching the film. If you do not, you will most likely get lost. This is on Shudder. You may be able to get it on, you may be able to rent it on YouTube. But the premiere happened on a Joe Bob Briggs Last Drive-In. I want to say about a month ago, around there. And I highly recommend it. It's 7 directors, 7 tales of terror, 0 working cell phones, and it kind of interlocks on one another. Trick or Treat, Tales of Halloween. Yep, that's another anthology. There are numerous anthologies. These are just some of the popular ones. And this is just a newer anthology Scare Package. It was released in 2020. And a Siberian film, oh yeah, that shit's crazy. The Siberian film would be under a different genre. It wouldn't be under anthology. But to be honest, I thought I never got to see a Siberian film because it was not allowed in my country, in Canada. And trying to get the video here in Canada, it would cost you $100 just to buy the DVD. I was thankful to a couple of people, Dillinger and Betty. No, I can't even get it by VPN. Sent me a Siberian film. Now, I won't watch that after learning what it is. Well, it's not as bad as you think, Mar. Like, it really isn't. To be honest with you, I watched it. Okay, so it was all hyped up. Everybody and their fucking mother was offended by this film. So I'm thinking, oh, right, this is awesome. Oh, I love when everyone is fucking offended. I love that shit. Just like Cannibal Holocaust. Everybody was offended about Cannibal Holocaust. And I love that film. So when I was able to finally watch a Siberian film, which was only last year, I believe, I looked at it and I was like, what? I wasn't as shocked as I thought I was going to be. I read about it and heard all the hype. So, well, okay, I don't know if you're like me at all. But when I read those kind of things, I get fucking hyped because I need to see it. And it sounds like you read the hype and you were just like, nah, I'm going to stay back. Did you ever see Cannibal Holocaust? I read about the baby part. You don't see the baby part, though. So the biggest thing is you do not see the baby part. It's innuendoed, but you don't actually see it, right? What was the series called again? Scare Package. All of this info is going to be in my Discord under Coffee Chat of Horrors. So all of my research from today, all of the definitions, trailers that I can't show you, especially trauma trailers. Okay, so the whole baby scene, you don't see it. I'm gonna tell you. All you hear is a baby crying. All you hear is a baby cry. And then it shoots to this other part where this guy is in the room and that's it. You don't see anything. Not at all. The people who were highly offended about this movie are the ones who wrote the reviews. You don't actually see it. I thought wasn't that bad. I expected to be disgusted and freaked out, and I was just like, oh, that's it. So that's how I felt about the Siberian film, Mar. That is how I felt about the Siberian film. It does have a lot of triggers. Sexual violence is really big in this one. It is kind of considered in the same genre of, there's lots of sex in it, plain and simple. There's lots of sex in it. And there's lots of disgusting, shocking sex stuff in it. You don't actually see some of these scenes. Like, you don't. They don't even show it to you. They do the whole, you hear the baby cry kind of deal, but you don't actually see the whole thing. Like, you don't see what you think you're seeing kind of deal. Wasn't there a scene in Mother? I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. But it basically, you don't see it. Again, I didn't think it was that shocking of a film. I thought the people who were offended by this film, okay. I didn't see it being overly crazy. Mind you, maybe I'm desensitized because of the kind of films that I do watch. I like disturbing films. I like those films. They're like one of my favorites. And so maybe that's why I wasn't so disturbed over the Siberian film. But I was so hyped. I was hyped. I wanted to see what people were getting offended about. I wanted to see why this movie is banned in my country because we can't buy it here. Hi, Fancy. Hi, Matthew. How are you? Trauma. Now, unfortunately, I cannot show you any trauma trailers because I could not find a trauma trailer that didn't have tits in it. Unfortunately. My internet was acting weird due to the weather. I chose monthly for Shudder, but it went through as a year. Oh, you're not going to be disappointed, Latina. You're not going to be disappointed. The whole not showing the scene thing was pioneered by Hooper. Yes. Who did it in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? It was one of those scenes which was inspired by George Romero in Night of the Living Dead. So Hooper did not create that idea. It came from Romero that Hooper used because he was such a big fan of Night of the Living Dead, which then was brought to the Siberian film. It makes those scenes so much more powerful, and sometimes it gets people talking about it and almost makes it a myth. I agree, Dillinger. I agree. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is awesome. On Netflix as well. American Netflix. Just put the stream under body painting during the trailer. Right, Tenaciously? But no, I wouldn't be able to. Trauma is one of my favorite genres. Now, Trauma is entertainment, is an American independent film production and distribution company founded by Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hertz back in 1974. Yes, Trauma goes back that far. Now, the company produces, again, like with Grindhouse, low-budget independent films primarily in the horror genre. Oh, okay, Latina. Killer Clown scared the hell out. Well, it would scare. I think it would scare the hell out of any child. I think. You've never seen? Oh my God, Ache. You needs to see it. Toxic Avenger, Trauma. I don't get it. Not my bag. That's Trauma. Lucky me. Okay, so Trauma is low budget. Try to shock the shit out of you. Lots of titties. Horror films. I have some really good ones for you, and the Toxic Avenger is on my list. Toxic Avenger is okay. It's not one of my favorites, but one of my favorites is The Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. I cannot show you that trailer. All I know is that it's an awesome film. Amazon Prime. Oh, nice. Me too, Doc. I love trauma films. Pop Punk. Mwah, darling. Thank you for that host. I see my timers aren't working correctly. Ake, do you have Netflix, Ake? It's going good. Hi, Kine. How are you? How are you doing today? Toxic Avenger is good. Not one of my favorite films, but it's a decent film. Killer Condom is my top 3. Oh my God. How about Tales from the Crapper? I can show you guys it in Discord. I will put trailers to these traumas in the Discord. Again, I won't be able to play them here. I would get banned. Just because of the boobs. Kabuki Man, NYPD was decent. Killer Condom, what did I walk into? Right, Pop Punk? Right? Well, we have trauma films. Poltergeist, Night of the Chicken Dead, The Toxic Avenger, Tales from the Crapper, and Nukem High. Now, Nukem High had many also in the franchise. Return to Nukem High, but Nukem High was the original one. Tales from the Crapper, right, Brightest Day? Hi, Tawdry. But yes, those are some of the definitions of the things that you might hear when you talk to somebody who is a fanatic in horror. That can say, oh yeah, I really like the Grindhouse theaters. You know what they're talking about now. When someone says anthology horror, you will know what they're talking about. And when someone says trauma, you will know what trauma means. I like traumas. I think they're fun. They're fun horror, low budget films with lots of practical effects. Almost every trauma film that I've ever seen, all of it's done with practical effects. Killer Condom is an actual movie. Makes me think of Teeth. Yeah, see, Teeth. A movie I had no idea what I was getting into when I watched it. What were your thoughts on Teeth, Tenacious? There's lots of good movies out there. Some really shitty ones. No. It definitely was something, right? Definitely was something. On Chuto, Sneaky Tiger. On Chuto. We'll get that. No, Mr. Chico. But who here has seen Poultrygeist? Night of the Chicken Dead. Has anybody seen that besides myself? Brightest Day, it's an awesome film. I think it's awesome. But that's just me. Okay, Sneaky Tiger, there's your sticker. On Chuto. Yeah, Poultrygeist was awesome. It's one of my favorites. No, Mr. Chico. No, stay down. I watched Teeth and Human Centipede back to back. I was up with serious questions all night. I bet. Teeth and Human Centipede back to back. Teeth was good. Take that, bad kids. Take that, bad kids, tenaciously, unless I'm confusing it with another film. Shrooms. Yeah, Shrooms is another good one. Busey. Oh my God, the Ginger Dead Man? Definitely. Tubi TV, guys. Ginger Dead Man, Tubi TV. That there is our conclusion to Coffee Chat of Horrors Education 101, basically. So you have been given lots of different information about the horror, how horror started, where it became, and I hope you guys are ready to get into some horror trivia.